Greetings, Culturians, and welcome back to the channel. I am famous for covering the box office, or at least it's one of the things I used to do here regularly. Now, there really hasn't been much of a box office, and there haven't been a lot of good films out there lately, but it doesn't stop me from paying attention to, well, some terrifying trends. And for cinema, this isn't good. This is one of the weakest box offices we've seen in a while, and it's a trend. It's been happening for quite some time. In fact, it's not just me calling it a weak box office. It's, well, even the AP. So stick around. It's going to be fun. Here we go. Now, before we get started, just a real quick reminder, I'm trying to get to 50K, so please double check that you're still subscribed to the channel. If you're here for your first time or your 50,000th time, just double check for me real quick because a lot of people are finding themselves unsubscribed. And if you see that button down there and it's red, click it and turn it to gray. And then click on the bell icon to turn on all notifications and hit that thumbs up button because that is immediate engagement and YouTube likes that. So let's talk about the story. And again, the first one we're looking at is right from the AP. It's a quiet box office weekend as GOAT edges Wuthering Heights, which means, guess what? Wuthering Heights only had one weekend at the top. Uh-oh. Now, I know a lot of people have been telling you that maybe, just maybe, Margot Robbie is a box office draw. I don't seem to think so, and apparently neither do the cinemas after a performance where it lost out to, I think, a second weekend to the film GOAT. This is a family-friendly film, and it definitely can draw more people because, well, it's not rated R. So Sony Pictures Animation took $17 million and Wuthering Heights $14.2 million. So those numbers, well, are a bit of a disparity. Both films are in their second weekend, so this managed to overtake the other and a position that it never should have been in. Overall, it was a quiet weekend with theaters around the country with new offerings all opening under $10 million. That's terrifying, and we'll get a closer look at that in just a moment. But let's talk real quickly about why this is happening. People are being a lot more careful with their entertainment dollars. In fact, they're not being drawn into watching more Olympics. They certainly aren't watching more sports, although we did have a successful hockey win in both men and women's categories. We are seeing less people go to the movies because there are less interesting things to see. Now let's jump into Deadline's version of the story because it's worded differently. GOAT's got game over Withering Heights in U.S. with $17 million, but Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie pick hugs $150 million worldwide cume. Whenever they're telling you worldwide in a box office receipt, that is the giveaway, especially in the first few weeks that it's out in the marketplace. They are trying to make this look like a success when it doesn't seem to be. Let's find out more. So, in the write-through, which they do regularly, some good news. The post-President's Day weekend in U.S. and Canada wasn't that slow, with all films grossing just over $79 million. That's 2% up from a year ago. That's still not good news. If you're under $100 million, that is a disappointing weekend. And this is part of a trend that seems to happen every January through basically all of February and headed into March, and that's not going to be bucked anytime soon. This is a regular instance now when it absolutely shouldn't be. They basically call this FU February, and that's exactly what it has been so far. Now, the GOAT started the weekend in a too close to call situation with Warner Brothers' Withering Heights, and Wuthering Heights' second frame of $14.2 million is more than a little bit disappointing, I would imagine. I think they would have hoped that this would have gained ground, especially with all the overly flowery press around that particular film. GOAT is doing well all around the world, as well as with global running cume of $102.3 million, which an overseas running total is $44 million of that. And I don't think it's in nearly as many theaters around the globe as Wuthering Heights is also not in the regular release field of about 4,000 instances. And that leaves us with some real troubling box office numbers, like this from The Numbers, which you can go and look at for yourself. GOAT came in at $17 million, as we keep saying. Wuthering Heights at 14.2, and then I Can Only Imagine 2 from Lionsgate at $8 million. That's a brand new film. That's not a good start. Crime 101 in its second weekend, I believe, maybe even third, is a piece of garbage. Amazon MGM not really releasing high quality stuff these days at 5.7 million in total earnings. Send Help from 20th Century, way to go Disney, at 4.5 million, and How to Make a Killing at 3.5. And the numbers just decline from there, whether it be Elvis, Solo Mio, Zootopia, Avatar, Psycho Killer, or anything else. These numbers aren't going up. In fact, they're going down quickly. And despite all of the good news I've heard around Solo Mio from Angel Studios, I was hoping it wouldn't drop this far in its follow-up weekends. But it has, and, well, there's a lot of things here to disappoint people as we continue to scale downward and notice that even Markiplier is taking it on the nose at only $1.1 million. But honestly, that's pretty good. He's still making money. Again, this is the biggest problem as we scroll through and we take a look at 33 films across the entire distributed releases that are supposedly in wide release, or as wide as they can be, and only making $73.3 million. This is not a good sign for the movie theater business, and it's why I think a lot of people are concerned with Warner Brothers being acquired by Netflix. Now, we can talk a bit more about why that's so concerning. The fact that if, let's say, Netflix decided to take some of the scripts that were meant to be cinematic pictures and just turn them into streaming films, less people would see them. There'd be less competition. They could pay people less, and you would see less films in cinemas. The cinematic experience would slowly disappear, perhaps, and you wouldn't have any competition out there anymore to put things in theaters. Not a good thing, in my opinion. But hey, those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know those down in the comments section below. And if you have any thoughts in what should be in theaters going forward, whether we should include things like live events such as the Olympic Games or any kind of sports event, maybe there's a concert series we should be putting in theaters, something. Give these theater owners an idea and let me know in the comments section below. As always, be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, and until next time, I hope they start to get more movies. I really do.